Hey guys, welcome to a very overdue episode of Unspoiled Territory. So right now I want to talk about The Amazing Spider-Man. Well, I have been very against this movie for quite some time because I love the Tobey Maguire version of Spider-Man. I believe Tobey Maguire was the perfect Spider-Man. He did a fantastic job in omitting Spider-Man 3. The first two were very good and very well done, even though they were done by Sam Raimi, who tends to get a little goofy sometimes, as he full-on showed us in Spider-Man 3. Now, obviously, this new Spider-Man is very different. Andrew Garfield is definitely not Tobey Maguire. And obviously, we're following Gwen Stacy instead of Mary Jane, who Kristen Dunst portrayed in the original Spider-Man movies. So with the new Spider-Man, you get kind of more of a look before Peter became an orphan. You get to see more about his parents and how his becoming Spider-Man was very much tied to his father. And in this one, you see it wasn't really an accident, purely accident, that Peter became Spider-Man, as his father was more attached to Oscorp than they originally told you in the old Spider-Man movies. Now, quite honestly, and I went into the movie thinking I wouldn't enjoy it, but I will be honest, the movie really just dragged. It went over his origin story in a different way, yes, but it went over his origin story again, which has already been told and everyone knows it, and to do it again and to drag it out the way they did, it was just not really fascinating. And then once you get past the origin story, you have your main villain appear, which is the Lizard, or kind of the Lizard. It is based off of the same character, the same doctor that became the Lizard and everything, but once again, I was very unimpressed. I don't know if they were going for a more human, like a more human-looking Lizard would be a better bad guy or more relatable, maybe, but it just fell so short. The effects were just not that good. Not what I would expect from such a highly budgeted, highly anticipated Spider-Man movie. The effects in all weren't that great. Spider-Man going from building to building was pretty good, but everything with the Lizard was just not very well done. And like I said, the humanoid face that they gave him just completely ruined the Lizard for me. I think they could have definitely made him look more like the Lizard should look and still make him make you feel for him and stuff like that. Now, I like that they recast Uncle Ben. I like who they picked for him. But Aunt May, I can't still not get on board with. The original Aunt May was spunky and funny and everything I think Aunt May should be, but Sally Field as Aunt May just did not do it for me. Emma Stone as Gwen Stacy was amazing. Awesome. When is Emma Stone not good? As far as Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man, I've come to the conclusion that Tobey Maguire is a better Peter Parker, but Andrew Garfield is a better Spider-Man. And I know that may sound weird, but it's true. Peter Parker is just, I think Tobey Maguire just did a better job portraying him. His characteristics and everything like that, his personality. But as far as in the suit Spider-Man fighting crime and all the action stuff, Andrew Garfield definitely did do a better job. I think he personified Spider-Man better than he personified Peter Parker. And here is something I had a major issue with the movie, aside from casting and stuff like that. And this is a little bit of a spoiler. My one main issue with the movie is that at some point in the movie, the main bad guy, the Lizard, which I don't think they ever really call him that, but it's assumed if you know your Spider-Man lore. At one point in the movie, he steals a serum to take to the top of Oscorp to spread in a vapor cloud over the city, creating more lizard men like him. But on the way up, he infects a few policemen with the same serum, and they start turning into lizard men. my issue with that is, instead of these lizard men going crazy and wreaking havoc on the city like you would expect, or something coming of it, they just kind of fall down and lay there while the serum takes hold, and then continue to just lay there until an antidote comes. And to me, that doesn't seem right. They should be doing something, freaking out, breaking stuff, attacking people, something. But they just lay there. And I mean, they show you that that's obviously not what the serum does, because they show you originally when the lizard takes the serum, and I mean, he full on freaks out and can move and do stuff. But these police officers can't seem to. So there is my quick review, probably not that quick, of The Amazing Spider-Man. Now, all that said, we are actually going to The Amazing Spider-Man 2 tomorrow. And so I will be doing a quick review of that too, right after this. Alright guys, well I am back and ready to talk about The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Far superior film than the first one. It was very good. It honestly was. I don't know if it's because we got the whole origin story again out of the way and we could just focus on actual crime fighting and bad guys and stuff like that. I don't know, but it was very, very, very good. So in Amazing Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man has to go up against Electro, this completely made up of electricity, transformed by electricity guy that is pretty obsessed with Spider-Man. And Jamie Foxx did a good job of playing a weirdo, that's for sure. I will admit that my opinion really hasn't changed. Tobey Maguire is still a far superior Peter Parker. Andrew Garfield, way better Spider-Man. It's just true. Now going into this movie, I thought our main bad guys were going to be a Spider-Man 3 all over again. Because from everything I had seen, we were going to have Electro, Hobgoblin, and the Rhino. And that worried me a little bit, because we all know how Spider-Man 3 went down. But thankfully, that's not what happened. I won't give it any major spoilers away, but they definitely paced it a lot better, which is another issue I had with the first Amazing Spider-Man, is the pacing of the movie was just not well done. I don't know if it's because the Mark Webb, who directed it, had never done a superhero movie or an action movie before, I don't know, but the pacing was so off. So off. But they did much better with this one. In Amazing Spider-Man 2, they definitely did some amazing work with the music and the action. The music and the action together, they actually incorporated into this amazing display, and it was very cool to watch. And they actually made Jamie Foxx kind of terrifying, which I did not see coming, because in the trailers, I thought he looked kind of stupid, but actually, once you get into the movie, he's actually quite frightening. Also in Amazing Spider-Man 2, something they didn't do in 1, which was a huge part of the original trilogy, was the Osborns. In the first Amazing Spider-Man, they had Oscorp as a huge player in the movie, but never the actual Osborns. Harry Osborn was non-existent, but they introduced him in the second Amazing Spider-Man. And the actor they got to play him, he's a vampire. I mean, I swear to God, this man in real life is a vampire. He's just... he has to be. But he did do a good job as Harry, and I don't think I'm giving anything away here, because as I said earlier in the trailers, you can see that at one point or another in the movie, Spider-Man has to fight Electro, Hobgoblin, and the Rhino. And Harry Osborn's transformation into the Hobgoblin, amazing, and so much better than Spider-Man 3. And the Hobgoblin that they put together as far as makeup and effects and characteristics wise in Spider-Man 2 and The Amazing Spider-Man 2 was just perfect. It was very cool that if you're a huge movie buff like me and you've seen as much, or TV, if you've seen as much TV and movies as I have, there's a lot of people in Amazing Spider-Man 2. A lot of actors that you don't expect to see, and they just kind of pop up. So that was really awesome to see. I will admit, I don't know for sure, I'd have to check, but I think Amazing Spider-Man was one of the first movies Andrew Garfield ever did, if not the first. But his acting improved a lot in Amazing Spider-Man 2. I definitely did notice an improvement in his acting. So overall, I would definitely suggest watching Amazing Spider-Man. Fight through it just to get Amazing Spider-Man 2. Because although Amazing Spider-Man does have its perks, like non-organic web shooters, the ones he actually has to make himself, which was very cool to see. As in the original trilogy, they were just part of his mutation, that he just had the web shooters built into his wrists. I liked seeing him build them himself, like in the comics. And the costume. I definitely preferred the revamp of the Spider-Man costume. It was really, really cool looking. But just make it through Amazing Spider-Man to get to Amazing Spider-Man 2, because it is definitely worth watching the first one to see the second one. This is a very good movie. Alright guys, well thank you for watching this episode of Unspoiled Territory, and I will see you next time.